Et on m'a plus stay on hard.
All right, welcome back and hello, good evening, au revoir, au revoir, au revoir, au revoir to the Olympics, and bonjour to everybody watching us. Where's my other doggone thing at? There we go. Bonjour, everybody. Welcome to the BCSN SportsWrap. I am Mr. I'm in school mode. That's A.D. Drew. Drew, how are you doing tonight?
And I'm doing fine, my brother. I'm doing fine. A couple of Olympic scares the last couple of days, but doing pretty good, my brother. And had a great time yesterday hanging out with you and Kelvin and the rest of the people from the at the FAMU luncheon / fan day.
Just say your family, Drew. That's what they are. They are, even though, sometimes you be on your Tuskegee bandwagon, but
I was in my orange and green stuff yesterday.
Your first love.
Yes.
There you go.
First love.
There it is. And we all know that first love can be a tricky situation sometimes. You never forget your first.
Never forget your first. They always got that little thing on you.
Yes, always. So we say hello to everybody watching us. Thanks for tuning in on the Black College Sports Network. This is the BCSN SportsWrap. Brian Fulford, A.D. Drew, here for a good time, not a long time, and we can finally put a bow on the Olympics. And you mentioned a scare. Was it a scare, or hey, we just got two great gold medal games? I don't look at it as a scare. I just look at it as if, hey, we finally got two great games.
Bruh, we came with it. What was that, 2 years ago when Kevin Durant stepped on the line on the shot, and that was the difference between the Nets knocking off the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yes.
We came within those same 2 inches of the U.S. and France going to overtime in the women's game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. Yeah. And what's crazy part is I didn't get a chance to really. Okay, so let me back up. Since we're talking about it, and we say hello to everybody jumping in. Hello to Emmett Jones, Jeff Roberts, 95 old, Karen Griffin, Mary 305, Tamara T. Hello, good to see you again, Tamara.
Great seeing you yesterday.
Yeah. Chuck Hunt checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. I guess he says he's watching the closing ceremonies. Edwin Moore, hello to all of you. So the U.S. men's and women's basketball team, right, closed out the Saturday and Sunday. But I will ask you, Drew, a lot of people were talking about the men's semifinal game between Serbia as being a gold medal game, which was just a little disrespectful to France, who advanced. But how about the semifinals? I thought the final 3 games, really, I'm going to say the final 4 games. Well, I don't know. The final 3 of the 4 final games in the men's side of the bracket were outstanding games. And I'm talking the 2 semifinal games, That was the Germany. It was Germany, France, and then of course Serbia, U.S. The U.S. had to really pull the game out their tail down the stretch in the fourth quarter. I mean, Joel Embiid was looking young and spry. I mean, I was like, who is this guy? This must be the guy who y'all gave an MVP to, right?
Yes.
And
they put him on the Olympics for that one game.
Look, he earned it. He earned it, right? Because I was really questioning why you put him on this team, especially after the way his Olympics started. But he earned it. He earned that gold medal. And just the stars showed up, man. I think I heard a stat that said Steph, LeBron. Well, it was Steph, LeBron, KD, Embiid, and there was maybe somebody else out there, but maybe Booker. But anyway, like minus Booker, the other four guys all showed up down the stretch, or at least 3 of them. So yeah. I mean, it was epic. I didn't get a chance to watch any of the gold medal game, obviously, because it was Saturday and we were on FAMU's campus. And then as I'm driving back, I'm watching the women's game. Woo wee!
Hey, check your audio. Your audio just all of a sudden changed. There you go. I'm picking you up from 2 sources.
It changed? I don't know.
All right, now there we go. It's like it's like you being picked up in a stereo, like your audio was picked up in 2 different sources, like it's coming in through your computer and your.
Let's not act like I got great audio right now, Drew. So let's just move forward and just.
So you touching something.
I'm not touching the damn thing, Drew. Look, these headphones. It's time for some new headphones. I guess it's that annual time of the year to go ahead and find some new headphones.
But Bryan, put it on your school supply list.
There you go. I do need to work on that this week. Somehow I need to figure out that, I thought it was a good contest for the women. Had to fight for it. Thankfully they got to the free throw line. I'm telling you what. So I have 2 questions as I'm watching the women's game, Drew. A, how many of the women from France play in the WNBA? Any idea? Does anybody know? No?
No, no clue.
All right. And yeah, right, Edwin. I'm unfortunately I'm on my own Wi-Fi tonight. I didn't plug into my hard line, so maybe I have to fix that during the first break. So I don't know if anybody knows how many women from France, Team France, are actually on or in the WNBA. That's a good question. Okay, I don't know. I want to say the young lady who was really balling out for France, Williams. I feel like I've heard her name before. I don't know if I've heard her name in college or somewhere else. Okay.
Bryan is Williams. It's hard to get that. It's not hard not getting that name confused.
Well, Gabby Williams, though, isn't that the name? I think her name was Gabby Williams.
I mean, it's not like that's not a common name.
Hold on. Gabby Williams. Let me look her up. All right. American French basketball player, played in France. Okay.
UConn.
She. Thank you. That's what I just found out. She was the number 4 pick. That's why I knew the name sounded familiar. She's a former UConn player. Okay.
And Bryan,
yeah.
Until last week, you probably never knew that she was French.
You're right.
Or had French heritage. She doesn't necessarily have to be French. She just has to have that French heritage to play for France.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's listed now as American French basketball power forward. So I guess good for her. And I see a couple people noting that she was with the Seattle Storm. So appreciate you guys. You look at our audience, checking in with some WNBA knowledge. I love it. Or at least you guys had the audio on during the broadcast. So props to you guys for that.
Either that or the Google machine is really working fast for you.
It does. It's working faster than my Wi-Fi probably. And then the other thing about that game, Drew, was was it Copper? Was it Copper?
Yes, Copper.
Who Who is she? Where does she come from? What team does she? I have never heard of her. Look, you give me the top 7 or 8 girls, ladies from off of Team USA. I know where they play. Who is Copper? Where does she come from?
Which I don't know where she came from, but I'm so glad she hitched the ride.
Hey, exactly. She showed up. Somebody tell me who is Copper. She might need a Duracell commercial because she was balling. I don't know what somebody from Duracell might need to contact her and get her a contract because she was balling. So that was just my 2 observations. Oh, and free throws, man. How about as coaches? We talk about the importance of making free throws, right?
Both teams made their free throws.
They did, but especially the U.S. Like Kelsey Plum went up and made some free throws. Copper made some free throws. I mean, look, man, it was good to see. Yeah. Okay, so Doc says Copper makes more money overseas. Is that Copper he's talking about?
All of them make more money overseas.
Oh yeah. The structure in
the top tier players make more money overseas, and even your mid tier players make more money overseas than they do in the W.
Yeah, that's true. So what observations did you have, Drew? I mean, what kind of observations caught you? From watching these last 2 games, last 2 days of basketball games.
I noticed that DT did not get up off the bench in the championship game.
She's 42. Should she have even been on the team? How many minutes did DT get over the course of the whole Olympics? Who has those stats? I mean, what was she there for? Moral support? Was she there just to get the 6?
That's one in the bank for the Caitlin Clark should have been on the team debate.
Or Enrique Ogunwale, whatever Enrique's last name.
Ogunwale.
Thank you.
Ogunwale.
Yeah, Enrique. Maybe Enrique, I don't know where her heritage is. Maybe Enrique should have been playing with Nigeria. Isn't she Nigerian?
That's a good question.
I mean, it sounds Nigerian,
Just like the Abumake sisters.
Exactly.
I know they are. I know they are have a Nigerian heritage.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, no, DT didn't get off. I don't know, man. My guy Tyrese Halliburton had put out a tweet, I guess, of him holding the gold medal, and I think the caption said, "When you don't contribute to the group project but still get an A." I was like, well said. Well said. I get it, Doc. It's not an all-star game. Tell Jason Tatum and Celtic Nation. Hold on.
But JT
Tell
came
Bob
through in the
Cousy.
championship game.
Tell Bob Cousy it's not an all-star game, Bob. It's not an all-star game.
JT came through in the championship game.
Did he?
Yes. He balled out in the championship game.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't ball like LeBron and KD and Curry, but he did contribute in that championship game. And speaking of LeBron, KD, and Curry, it's going to be interesting to see how USA basketball pivots, because that core group is all over 35 years old.
Yes.
What are the chances that any or all 3 play in LA?
You're asking me to give a percentage odds here?
Go ahead.
0.9%. How about that? I'm not gonna say none, Karen. Karen says none. I'm never gonna say none, but I'm gonna say as close to none as I can get. 0.9.
But see, here's why you actually have to keep hope alive. Steph Curry does something that cannot be easily do. That you can't never have too much of, and that's shooting. Even at 39 years old,
Come on, stop it.
he'll still be able to hit his shot.
He's 36, Drew. He's
Okay,
36.
he'll be 40. He will be 40.
No.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm just giving you the counter. Okay, Kevin Durant, 6'11", with a 7'4" wingspan.
35, Drew. He's 35.
So he'll be 39.
No.
And then LeBron is just a freak of nature.
LeBron's isn't he 40 already?
He'll be 43 at that point. He's 39 now.
39. Come on. No. I agree with you, Dave. 0. But again, I put 0.9 just in case, because who would have thought LeBron would still be playing at the age of 39 and excelling playing, Drew. Not just riding along for the coattails, but starting.
He was the MVP.
Thank you. That is freakish. 39. MVP, LeBron. You know, now hold on. Let's do this. Okay, because we love our top 5. Top 5 Team USA basketball players. And I was at first thinking, should I go overall, men and women? But that's not fair. Let's say men.
You talk about like all time?
Top 5 all time.
Pre NBA.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Post NBA.
Don't do that. Nope. I said what I said. I mean, if you want to, you know, break it down by pre-NBA and all that stuff, but
because it's hard to go pre-NBA because you could pick just about anybody outside the 1988 team pre-NBA.
I don't think you can pick anybody, Drew. I think there's a player that you could probably pick pre-NBA.
Bill Russell?
No. Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
That whole squad was nice.
The 84 squad?
The 84 squad. Patrick Ewing, Sam Perkins was on that squad. Even your homeboy Steve Alford was a major contributor on that squad.
Yeah, he was.
Thunder Dan Marley was on that squad.
All right. I'll appease you. We'll go NBA.
I mean,
so that's 1992 to present day. So what are we talking? How many years is that? Is that 30? 32 years?
You still got Jordan leading the pack.
So okay, I agree. Jordan's he's in my top 5 as well. Okay, who else?
Okay, you got Jordan.
Yep.
Kobe.
Yeah, I got Kobe in there
for that one. Pippen got 2 rings. He was a big lead on those first 2 teams.
It's your list. He's not on my top 5.
Jason Kidd.
Okay,
I gotta give you a big man because I've got all guards so far. If I'm going to get a big man, hell, you can flip a coin between Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Pick one. It don't matter.
No, you pick one. You give me your top 5.
I'm going D. Robinson because he was on 2 of them. I gotta take D. Robinson off because he was on the 88 team. I'm going Patrick Ewing.
Oh, you're penalizing him for that.
I can't pick anybody who was on that was part of the 88 team.
I didn't know David Robinson was also on the 96 team.
Yes, he was on 3 consecutive. 88, 92, 96.
All right. So again, give me your top 5.
Was Patrick Ewing on both teams? No, I'm going Patrick Ewing because he was 84 and 92. So I'm gonna stay with Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Barkley, and Pippen.
Okay.
And all of those that I just named have at least 2 gold medals.
Okay. I agree with a couple of these. Now, okay, wait a minute. Okay, let me write this down again because I want to make sure I heard it correctly.
Even more, Barkley was the leading scorer on the Dream
92
team.
Yeah. Yeah. But I agree with you, Edwin. I don't there's only
you
one
gotta
guy.
have a role. You have to have a role player. That's why
you
I
don't
put
have
Pippen
to.
on there.
Wait a minute. Why? It's a whole. It's a team full of superstars.
This is not an all-star game. You have to have a role player.
Drew, the whole starting 5 are all-stars. The whole starting 5 are all-stars. There's no role players except that you have stars that chose to play role.
The dean has spoken, Brian.
Dot. The question is, give me your top 5 Team USA basketball. I didn't ask you to give me a starting 5. I just said give me your top 5. Now, if you want to give somebody as the best role player, okay, fine. So I'm just saying, what is the top 5?
Edwin Barkley played in 92 and 96.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He played in 96 also.
Oh, yeah, he did. Sorry. Yeah, he did. All right. And actually, Barkley is he's ranked 6th all-time in scoring.
Thank you, D.
In Team USA scores. Okay. Man, Drew. Okay.
Quick to give me your 5 because I got something I need to show before we go to the break.
Okay, no particular order here. Okay, I'm not going to get into the weeds with ranking them because that's kind of pointless, I think. I've got Jordan, okay, who actually averaged. You brought up those points, but actually, I think Jordan might have averaged the most on the '84 team. He actually is ranked.
He was leading scorer 84.
He's ranked 5th He's ranked 5th all time in points. He is ahead of Barkley. Okay. Impact player, Jordan. I got to go Kobe. Kobe is the reason the Redeem team was what they were, right? Because Kobe came in and set the young pups straight. So to me, Kobe definitely top 5. I think he only won twice though, 08 and 12. Okay. Then of course you got to go LeBron. I think LeBron cemented his legacy. Huh?
I said that's fair.
Yeah, LeBron cemented his legacy in this one. I just think from the fact that, and I hate this, I'm not, you know me, I'm not the biggest Kevin Durant fan, but I gotta respect Kevin Durant's ability through 4 Olympics, right? 12, 16, 20, and 24. 4-time gold medalist. Only one of 3 players to do it. Put some respect.
LeBron and Melo.
And yes, he is my 5th player on the team. The guy that before Kevin Durant, I dubbed Carmelo Captain America because I think, unlike LeBron and KD, Carmelo, this was sort of the icing on the cake, which I think made him a Hall of Famer. Yeah, he had a pretty nice, pretty good NBA career. Never got to the finals. I don't even know if he got to the Eastern or Western Conference finals personally.
No.
Okay. So, but what he did for Team USA, great. I loved it.
That was his finals.
I loved it. That was him. That was his finals. The most points ever scored in a game. So that's my 5. So again, my 5 is Carmelo.
Steph broke it.
No, Steph is 1 point short. Steph scored 36. The record is 37. I'm sitting here looking at it right now.
Oh, see, they had said the record was 35. during the broadcast.
No, I'm looking. Well, the site I'm looking at says Carmelo scored 37 against Nigeria in 2012, and Steph scored 36 against Serbia.
Yeah.
So again, my 5: Durant, LeBron, Carmelo, Kobe, Michael. That's my 5. All right. Now,
and here's your Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
He
Hold
was
on.
on the team.
He was okay. And now I'm gonna throw, because I almost threw in a women's basketball player into, if I just said top 5 basketball players. Thank you. That's who I was gonna go for. And not DT, because she gravy trained her way into 6 gold medals. Not Sue Bird, even though I love Sue Bird, because she probably gravy trained her way into a 5th gold medal. She probably didn't need to be on that team. Who? Cheryl Swoop? How many?
Cheryl Miller.
Ooh, see that. Okay, so see, the 2 that I would have given strong consideration into the 5 are definitely Cheryl Miller and Lisa Leslie. Those 2.
Now I agree with you on that one, Coach.
Cooper, Cynthia Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she got like 3. I know she got 3.
I have to go look. That's another show anyway.
Right.
But I said, if we separate men and women, you got a whole different debate and conversation going on. That's why I think you got to separate them.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But Bryan.
All right.
Something happened in that championship game that made me think about something that happened 24 years ago during the Olympics. And ironically, we were playing the same team.
What could it be, Drew? What could it be?
Everybody remembers this. Probably the greatest dunk in history. Against France in Sydney.
Ooh wee. Nasty.
Very nasty.
I don't think people what they saw at the moment, because the crowd action wasn't as hyped as it should have been. I don't think the crowd really knew what they just saw.
Right. But Bryan, it took 24 years. 24 years for France to get their get back.
That's horrible. Come on. See, I didn't see it. No, I'm not giving him. No, boo. There's no comparison. Boo. That's not. Look, if that's France's payback, then that's some typical French BS. That's some French stank. That's all I'm gonna say. Payback. That's some typical French stuff right there. LeBron tried to take a charge, and then he realized, oh no, I don't want to do this. Come on, that was horrible. That was horrible. I can't believe you showed that. Failed flop. Exactly, Keith. Failed flop. Now, if anything, that's what it was. That's what it was. In typical LeBron fashion, it was a failed flop. Come on, I can't, Drew. The man just won an MVP at 39 years old, the best basketball player in the world, and you disrespect him with that. Shame on you, Drew.
Well, you can chalk that one up for the Jordan-LeBron debate. Put that one in the Jordan column, because Jordan never got dunked on like that in the Olympics.
No, never. Jordan would have never.
Closest thing was John Starks.
On Jordan?
Yes.
Oh, only because Jordan was in. He didn't really dunk on Jordan. It was wasn't that more on Scottie Pippen?
It was actually Horace Grant, but he was in the poster.
Okay, right.
But he was definitely on the poster with him.
He was jumping by though. He was like
Jordan ain't stupid. I'm not putting my hand up so y'all can talk about me.
Yeah.
Let's get this first break in, man.
All right. Let's take our first break of the show. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
This is Brian Fulford. A.D. Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN SportsWrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN SportsWrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Atlanta, Georgia. The HBCU football capital hosts the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge on August 24th. Florida A&M Rattlers, Norfolk State Spartans. SWAC versus MEAC. The rivalry is real. Come out to Center Park Stadium to see the returning HBCU national champions and 2 of the best HBCU bands in the land, the Marching 100 and the Spartan Legion. The day starts with a kickoff fan experience tailgate and concludes with a primetime matchup on ABC. For more information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap, Bryan and A.D. Okay, Drew, check this out. I just seen a tweet here via Richard Deitch, who he covers sports TV. He's the host of Sports Media Podcast, right? Shit. He just tweeted out, the U.S. men's basketball team's win over France averaged 19.5 million viewers on NBC and Peacock. The most watched gold medal game since the 96 Atlanta Olympics. The game peaked at 22.7 million viewers from 5 to 5:15 p.m. Eastern. That's pretty significant, huh?
Very significant.
Now, I wonder, let me see. Oh, and then if you just, he even has here on what cities had the highest ratings. Want to guess the city that had the highest rating? One, okay, it's amazing. One in the South, one on the West Coast, one in the Midwest. 3 of the top cities, each averaged a 12 rating.
L.A.?
Nope, another California city.
San Francisco.
Ding, ding, ding. That was number 2.
And let's see, Atlanta.
No. Further south, way further south.
Miami.
Close.
Orlando.
Nah, that's too far north. West Palm Beach. Number 1 market. 12.5 rating. And then there's one more in the Midwest.
Chicago.
No, Kansas City.
Huh?
Yeah, 12.2.
I ain't know Kansas City had enough people to average a 12.2.
I wonder how that compares to a Chiefs Sunday.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, right? Yeah, but that was interesting. That was the top 3. The top 3 again: West Palm Beach, Florida, San Francisco, and Kansas City. Those were the top 3. I was just scrolling here. I was going to see if he had what the viewers were for the what was the game we were just talking about, that Serbia game, but I may have to scroll too far down his timeline for that. Say hello to a few other people in the chat room who join us. I see Dr. Lori in the building. Good to see you, Doc. Again, thank you for all your support and sponsorship yesterday. Wilson Investments, Dr. Lori, thank you. I see Blue Jacket for Life jumped in. Fangs Up podcast. My guy Keith jumped in. Kylan Chavis, hello to you. Gail Hinton, good to see you, Gail. Let's see, anybody? Marvin Allen jumped in. Good to see you, Marvin. Let's see, anybody else? I saw, of course, Coach Ferraci's in there. Hey, Coach, thank you for actually, Coach, we had a lot of I don't know about HBCU. I know we had a lot of FAMU guys playing today. Coach hit me up with a text about Isaiah Land getting some good minutes with the Colts in their preseason game against the Broncos. And that's what let me and then I think I've seen people talking about Marquise Bell and Xavier Smith. And so I thought FAMU, among the 4 FAMU guys, it looks like FAMU had a great weekend. How about some other HBCU guys? You guys put in the chat. Any other HBCU guys have a good first week of preseason football outside of the 4 FAMU guys? Of course, Terrell Jennings on Thursday led the Patriots in rushing, and then also Ian Wheeler for Chicago, right? I think Ian Wheeler where's Ian Wheeler from? Howard. The former Howard running back. I think he did well for the Bears. I did see that. So yeah, I don't know. Stephen Gaither checking in. Good to see you, Steve. So yeah, any other, like I said, a good day for FAMU over the weekend. How about, I saw Ian Wheeler. I don't know if he was, if Wheeler was the third. I know they had a 3 running back system.
A 3-headed monster. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if you could say one guy was really ahead of the other. I think they kind of used all 3 of them equally. You might see we're kind of even, Okay, let's quickly, how about some other, last week we talked about a lot of events from week 1. How about some other moments from week 2 of the Olympics, Drew, that you saw that kind of caught your attention, whether it be in visuals or just events?
Can I start with the one that disappointed me?
Sure. Yeah.
I was really looking forward to seeing what a breakdancing competition looked like.
You've seen one in the train. You've never been to the train station in New York City, Drew?
I've never been the one with judges.
Look, hey, well, we all judge. Come on now, we all judge. They all had judges.
Yeah, but not when you got points like that. Judging in our day was
yeah.
Whoever had the loudest applause.
Yeah, I still don't know if anybody can beat Turbo. That's the standard. So if no one's beating Turbo, then I'm sorry. And if you don't know what I just said, then you need to go back and dust off a DVD from the movie Breaking.
This
Back
was
in the
my
80s.
biggest disappointment for breaking since watching Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Ooh, yes. I think it was the just the name sounds funny, man. Electric Boogaloo. I don't know if I've ever heard another movie title use the word boogaloo. Ask yourself, Drew, have you ever used the word boogaloo in anything other than mentioning the name of that movie? Good God.
No. And,
Um,
and for, let me get on my soapbox for a minute. For a culture, a movement
look,
that,
here we go.
and I can say this, we invented, because
Yes.
it was my generation and a little bit a half generation before me. We invented this stuff.
Yes.
To not see anybody who looked like me
That's crazy. Hey,
scoring significantly with medals really disappointed me.
thankfully, the LA Olympic Committee said we ain't having
Hell
that.
no. Hell no.
Thank you, LA Olympic Committee. I don't know how or why, but thank you for not including breaking in the 2028 Olympics. I don't know if that was their decision or what, but I'm just gonna give them credit. So don't get at me in the chat room if I'm all wrong. Just leave me alone. I'm giving credit to the LA Olympic Committee and saying thank you, because even though, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you talk about cultural appropriation. Is that the right word for that? What they did over in France?
Well, hey, how about Kaylin has another disappointment?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, the 4x100 relay team for USA men. 5 Olympics in a row. USA has failed to medal. Not just, win gold, or how about medal? Win what? How many times have we had some of the fastest runners in track, and for whatever reason we can't seem to get the break and stick right? Yeah, I agree with Carl Lewis.
It's called a baton.
Thank you. I couldn't put off the top of my head real quick. But no, thank you to Carl Lewis for pointing out how wrecked the system is. Carl Lewis should actually be somehow way to incorporate Carl Lewis into being the head of the relay team. No,
the sprints. He should be in charge of the sprints at least.
He was a part. Carl Lewis was a part of the, if I'm not mistaken, the 100, 200,
4x1 and 4x1.
And the 4x1, yes.
Along with the long jump.
And the long jump. So he won 4. He won 4 in those events. And at the time, winning 4 was like, woo. I mean, it still might even be woo. The fact that he won 4, the fact that he won the 3 sprints, and then he won the field event, which is like guys like Michael Johnson. I know they've won 3 at an Olympics, but Carl taking it to the next level, adding in a field event, I think is kind of what separates him. I saw the results. I saw somebody put this. You talking about disappointment. Let me add, how about the Jordan Childs appeal and then the reversal of the appeal, that she apparently on appeal was given the bronze in, I don't know, it was one of the individual events in gymnastics.
Yes.
And then an appeal of the appeal said that the timing of the appeal was late, so they reversed the decision
by 4 seconds
and gave it to. So now here's the question, Drew. And I'm going to credit Dr. Lori with this, because Dr. Lori called me about this. We were talking about it earlier. And I'm going to ask you this. Not Jordan Childs, but if you're the young lady from, I don't know, whatever country is supposedly has been placed in position to now, hey, you get your medal back. Jordan Childs is supposed to take the medal back, give it to the Olympic Committee, and give it to the other girl, right? I don't know what country. Are you taking it? If you were that girl, young lady, are you taking that bronze medal, Drew?
Brian, it's almost like when we see these NCAA sanctions when a team wins the game on the court and then they wind up getting the title stripped from them, and the runner-up gets named the national champion, or it gets vacated. The thing is, Brian, whoever the new winner is, lost that moment.
She's from Romania, apparently. Doc says she's from Romania.
She has lost that moment because part of the experience is that moment.
Standing on the medal.
It's the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. That's all part of the athletic moment. And to get it that way, you probably take it, but it doesn't have that same pride. It winds up going in the closet instead of on the trophy case.
Yeah.
Now, if that would have happened right then and there in the arena, totally different scenario.
Right.
Yeah. How about Brian? How about the 4x4 for the U.S. women and the dominating fashion that they won? They won by 4 seconds.
Wow.
They set an American record, I believe, ran the second fastest time in history. I mean, they won by 4 seconds. Running a 3:15 and some change. So this was another one of those, if you're a track person, you have to understand this. When they crossed the line, no one else was in the picture. That's not good in a sprint race.
Right.
And then the men coming back to win, they barely won. The men won by like 1/100th of a second, I believe.
So the 4x400 men actually won gold. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they won gold. Yeah, I think it was by like 1/1000th of a second, or something along those lines. I'm trying to think of most of the things that I saw were on the track. The 100, the 100 was that this week?
What? Well, okay. So here's the thing. That's what I was looking back on it
because it's all ran together.
We talked about the 100 last weekend. We we put that into week 1 because
that was last week.
Yeah, it happened on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. It happened on Sunday, and so we talked about that last weekend.
Okay,
but if you wanted to include it in week 2, I guess it's whatever.
I can't remember what happened when.
Well, technically, okay. So technically it is part of week 2 because I think the schedule goes from the opening ceremonies were on Friday, competition started on Saturday,
but the whole track is 2 weeks long. The whole 2 weeks.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, it is. It's not a whole 2 weeks. It's like a week and a half.
No, track ended Saturday. So it started on that Monday. I think track started on that Monday and ended that following Saturday.
Hey, how about that?
Good one, Steve.
Janetta Hayes of Livingstone was part of that 4x400 team. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Some HBCU love. Livingstone. They've got a great, definitely have always had a great track program. I tell you what was noticeably missing from the track and field. I mean, Americans were awesome. All the women were great. The men, even in some field events. But it seemed like, where was Jamaica? What happened to? I think that is one of those stories that I'll be interested to see what happened to the Jamaican track program. Like they were, I mean, men and women Jamaican track program were tough the previous Olympics, right? And yeah, see, Keith brings it up. I feel like we didn't have that rival. It's like in the swimming, it's like the USA, it's usually Australia or If it's diving, it's China. It's like if Australia is having a down year in swimming and they don't really compete against us, then it's like we kind of blow everybody out. Where was the Jamaicans? What happened to the Jamaicans? It's interesting. But anyway, okay, I'm gonna go to another track.
Edwin brings up a good one. With the pole vault, I watched that. I can't remember the guy's name, and I believe he broke it on his third attempt.
On his third and final. I heard about that. Yes. I didn't see it, but I was my daily podcast that I listen to when I'm walking in the morning. The guys from I think it's from SI, they give me a great recap of all the Olympic events. I missed that, but I did hear about a guy, the pole vaulter, break, and I think he has broken that world record for like the last several times. I mean, he's the guy who breaks his own record. Doc said the great, but the women, the Jamaican women's program was top notch as well. So I mean, I know Usain Bolt was done, but man, Fraser Price got hurt. I don't know. It's just a bad showing for Jamaica in these Olympics all around. I'm going to give things we saw in week 2 while we're talking track. I'm going to give a shout out to one of my fellow high school alums, a young man by the name of Cole Hawker in the 1,500 meter run. Drew, my man was 25-1. Hear what I said, Drew. 25-1. I'm so upset that I didn't even, and the one day that I didn't listen to the podcast, Drew, I would have known that he was running later in the day. So I missed, bro. If I'd have just sprinkled $10, $5 on him just because he's an alum, Drew, I'd have been walking out of there with a cool 125 or 250 had I put down some pizza money. But anyway, congratulate. He set an Olympic record. He actually came from like 3rd, 4th place down the final 100 meters and passed up the 2 guys who were the favorite. So, but yeah, I mean, young man, he's a 2019 graduate of my alma mater back in Indianapolis, Indiana, won and set an Olympic record in the 1,500 meters. What else? Any other events or visuals from the week?
Sha'Carri taking second.
Really? Sha'Carri taking second? That
was
beautiful. How about you're not gonna give credit to the young lady who actually won, but you're gonna focus on Sha'Carri taking second, huh? Shame on you, Drew.
I'm an American.
Okay. How about Scotty Scheffler? And we may have brought this up.
That was last week. Yeah,
that was last week. Okay,
week.
thankfully. Yeah. That I saw that in pictures, weekend pictures. Yeah, he ruined another event that got ruined. I had John Rahm, and of course that, he decided to poop on himself. Did you see the video? The USA.
Yes, you did, Steve. Yes, you did.
Oh, she did win the 4x1.
Yeah, she brought her back. She brought her back in 4x1, and she did basically. She looked at her while she was passing her.
The look, yes, look. Iconic look over. Yes, yeah, okay. That's what that was. The 4x1. Okay. Did you see the team acrobatic routine by Team USA when they performed to Michael Jackson's "Smooth Criminal"?
No, I did not.
No. All I'm going to say, just type it up and look at it. It is epic. These women did the moonwalk upside down in the water, Drew. Literally. Wow. I didn't know what it was until I watched it like a second or third time. And I'm like, wait a minute. Did they just moonwalk literally with basically their whole body is submerged underwater and only their feet are above the water, and they literally moonwalked, Drew. Moonwalk. I was like, oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Last one before we get to the break, Brian. Disappointment. Women's volleyball took second today, took the silver.
I don't know if you should be disappointed, Drew, because they went up against it. Did you watch any of that match this morning?
I watched it, but you got to realize, I mean,
Italy's the number one team in the world, though.
Yeah, but U.S. has won the last couple.
That don't mean going into this I don't even think we weren't. What was our ranking going into the tournament?
I don't know.
I don't think we were top 2 because if I recall hearing, I don't think. Well, okay, I don't know if we were a favorite to beat Brazil, and there was somebody else that we beat or maybe lost to. Oh no, that we beat in the early, like Serbia. For USA volleyball to get a silver, Drew, that's probably great. That's probably as good as they could have hoped for, given what we were ranked. So yeah, okay. I'll conclude with this. Women's soccer. USA women's soccer comes home and did you know, Drew, in the 10 games under this coach, she's a new coach. I don't even know her name or where she came from. I think I heard she's from like Chelsea, or she had coached the Chelsea women's club, right? English Premier League women's level, whatever. I don't even know if it's this. But anyway, if you know, you know. 10 games into her career. I'm assuming this is like exhibition games and Olympics games. They only gave up 2 goals in 10 games. Let that sink in. She has gone 10-0. They have only given up 2 goals. That is like, and that team looks young, and I don't know, the World Cup is in 2 years probably. If we're not a favorite to win the World Cup, shame on what is it? FIBA? Not FIBA, but FIFA.
I think it's 3 years. I think men are in 2 and women are in 3.
Okay, maybe you're right. But whatever. I mean, congratulations to the women. USA, I mean, that's a dominating performance. Between what USA women's basketball did and USA women's soccer, you remember how they used to have the Sports Illustrated, Drew, and they put like teams on the cover? They should, I don't even know who does that anymore, but if you had an old school Sports Illustrated, you should probably have dual covers. And one cover on one side should be USA women's basketball, and on the other side should be USA women's soccer, because those 2 teams put together 2 of the most impressive, dominating performances in the Olympics.
Anything's better than our 3-on-3 men and women. Let's get out of here.
Hey, no shade on the women. The women's 3x3, didn't they win? They won bronze.
Yeah,
which was good from where they started, Drew.
Exactly.
They started like 0-3, and I'm gonna give some shout out to Jennifer Williams, former AD. I think, where was she at? Alabama State. And now she's with USA Basketball. She actually made it over. I remember when she made it over to Paris, the team was 0-3, and then she got over there, and then they started winning. So I mean, shout out to A.D. Williams, or former A.D. Williams. But anyway, all right, let's get out of here. Let's take a break. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap. I promise we're talking some HBCU stuff coming up here on the other side. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head and Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
Hey, grab me one too.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember. They can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft. Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. But it's so absorbent, you can use less. So it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less? You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app. As we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Brian Fulford, A.D. Drew. Thank you to everybody watching. Do us a favor. Hit the thumbs up and the like button. Those if you are watching on YouTube on the Jericho broadcast.
We got to get our likes up, Brian.
We say that every week. This is what I don't understand. And this is it's a running joke.
We got to get more subscribers, Brian.
Hold on. I don't understand. And I hear a lot of shows say this, but it really is. It really is. If you're in the chats, if you're watching the stream, it takes a second, like a half a millisecond. Roll your mouse to your left or roll it to the right and just click the thumbs up or the like button. If you're watching the show, you gotta like what you're watching because you're still with us. So the however many people who are watching, go ahead, do us a favor, please.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, Brian. You can't even comment in the chat on YouTube if you're not a subscriber.
So you're dirty. You did that. You see, normally I just said it for like 5 minutes. Did you put it in there for the whole show?
No, 1 minute.
Oh, well, I mean, you could wait a minute or two. But now I agree with Steve just a little bit about subscribers. I mean, now I will say though, we love the people who join the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page there. Basically, we love all of you guys because what you're saying is you're supporting the BCSN and a little cup of coffee. I mean, there's a lot of content and a lot, look, our money is spread in a lot of places, but when you really think about it, we waste and burn money on a cup of coffee. I burned some money, Drew, on my trip. I burned money on blow pops, Drew, just to keep me engaged while I was right. So, I mean, we waste $3 to $4 almost every day on some sugary. So, if you spared us, $3-4 a month, that's how many cents a day, Drew? Here, I'm gonna break it down like they do in the commercials. Well, that's 5 cents a day.
30 cents a day is not even $4.
Thank you. So look, it's all appreciative, man. It all helps. And this is how we we continue to grow as a community and a network. And we appreciate you guys supporting us. You know, and we keep working, man. We stay up late nights. I know Steve does, because I've heard the story. Steve said I know Steve got a little one, so I know Steve, he be waking up at 4 a.m. typing out HBCU content while he's taking care of a child.
Change the diapers. Go ahead and say it.
Yeah,
change the
diapers, and then boom, Steve goes to typing up a story. And I know a lot of HBCU content folks are.
I guess we cheap dates, Brian.
I am what I am. I'm very cheap.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Let's do a favor. Let's put a pin in that discussion, because later on we're gonna talk about some HBCU media stuff.
I thought you wanted to hold that, Drew. Didn't we want to hold that? Because I really think you got to hold that, and I know what you want to do.
But let's tease it out. Let's get to part 1.
I'll let you lead it, because I don't know where you want to go with it. This is your story idea, so I'm gonna let you lead it. But I did want to circle back and just let everybody know we're less than 14 days away from the first games of the season. Of course, the MEAC SWAC Challenge comes up on 2 Saturdays from yesterday in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to be doing the BCSN Game Time is going to have not only a game time tailgate, or be doing our game time show on Saturday before the game, but we're going to be doing a tailgate Friday night. I believe it's Bullseye Barbecue. I hope I got that name right, Drew. Roy is going to kill me if I got it wrong, but I think that's the name of the spot. Look at hold on. Let me just look at the Twitter feed, Drew, because it'd be irresponsible of me to not look at and have the name, to sit here and be talking to all of you good people and me not have the location correct. And I know we've tweeted it out. I thought I saw somebody tweet it out. Was it Mel? Was it somebody? Uh-oh. Well, I don't see the tweet in the feed, Drew. So we'll try to get the location, but it's right next to the stadium, Center Park Stadium. So Friday evening, early evening, late afternoon, early evening, we'll do a tailgate show from that location. And after the next break, I'll have the exact location, I promise. Is the tour voting over? Great question, Edwin. Thank you for asking. Drew, do you have an answer?
How about everybody just go ahead and vote and see if it allows you to vote? If it allows you to vote, it's not over.
We are the worst. Look, here we are. How many years have we been doing this, and we continue to get it wrong?
That's what you call ballot stuffing, Brian.
Oh my God, Drew. Roy's going to kill us. He's like, this is why we want another producer. If anybody's out there and wants to help co-produce this show, look, Drew and I are getting old in age, and it's just to that point where we but anyway, there's the link to the poll. So mybcsn.net/watch/polls. I'm going to find a way here to copy it, and I'm going to paste it in the chats, because I don't want anybody to say, oh, you talked about it, but you didn't post it. So here it is. I'm posting it now in the chat for everybody who's watching on YouTube and on Facebook. And those of you, again, who are watching on Instagram Live, or you might be watching us on Twitter, there's the link. bcsn.net/watch/polls. Thank you, Edwin. And when we see you, I got a free Diet Coke for you, or a Coke Zero, or a ginger ale, whatever. A drink on me, Edwin. Thank you for that reminder. Are we doing any? Do we have any do we have Edwin? Which game do you go to? Edwin's a Southern guy, right?
I believe so. He's one of those from that part of the SWAC.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, okay. Edwin he won't no Diet Coke. And I don't know. I was trying to look out for you. Diet Coke, Coke Zero. You tell me, Edwin. You tell me, and I got you. Okay. I see EA's in there making mess as usual, huh? Okay. Let's talk about some of the games this season between what's the best way to describe this, Drew? Out of division matchups, meaning FCS versus FBS, D2 versus FCS. We debated on whether we called NAIA versus NAIA versus D2. That's an interesting debate because we kind of categorize those two divisions or those levels being equal. So is it really a cross division matchup? I'm curious what you guys out there watching think. But Drew, let's pull up some of the games, and I think what we want to do here is try to see if there are any matchups in these, especially in the first 3 weeks. The first 3 to 4 weeks of the season is where you see a lot of these matchups. So let's try to pull that out, Drew, and see what we see, and if there's any games that we would pull to the side and say, okay, here's a game that I think an upset is most likely to happen.
All right, am I controlling this?
I think it's your feed, so I think you have access to it.
All right.
Okay. So this is a combination of obviously week 0 and week 1, because week 0, obviously you have the Norfolk State FAMU game, but also there's a game between Delaware State traveling cross country to Hawaii. What a trip, right? Going cross country. How long of a flight is that? I bet, is that about a 6-hour flight?
Probably closer to 8. Probably closer to 8 to 9.
And if you're Delaware State, when do you leave?
You probably leave at Tuesday so you can get used to the time zone.
Hopefully, you hope you got.
Matter of fact, I think that's what they said in the preseason press conference.
Okay, good for them. Good experience for those kids. Hopefully, they go and compete well. But anyway, there we got that game's week 0. But then on week 1, you got a host of games. Now, of course, you got some Thursday games. Jackson State at UL Monroe, Alcorn at UAB. Okay, just in case you didn't know, Alabama Birmingham is really UAB, University Alabama Birmingham, for those who didn't know. North Carolina A&T at Wake Forest. Then on Saturday, you've got Howard at Rutgers, Alabama A&M at Auburn, Bethune at South Florida, UAPB at Arkansas, Grambling State at Louisiana. The Virginia Lynchburg at Wagner, obviously that is not FCS at FBS, but Virginia Lynchburg in the uncategorized division playing Wagner, who's an NAIA. I don't know why we included that, but we did.
Because they're HBCU.
Okay. All right. Anyway. Okay. So now what do we say we want to do, Drew? Any games in this that we would pull out? Is that what we're doing here?
Correct.
All right, so I'm gonna let you go first. Any game in here, and let's not take too long if there's really nothing here worth pulling out. But
I like Jackson State, UL Monroe.
I do too. I love that opportunity for Jackson State against UL Monroe. UL Monroe is from the Sun Belt, I believe. What else?
Let's see. Looking back, and I'm trying to see about these Raging Cajuns.
I'll explain my.
The only other one I was looking at was Louisiana, possibly, but they They were a bowl team last year. They were 6-7 last year, so I don't think Grambling is going to be able to pull anything off of that game.
No, that's a Sun Belt team. That's one of the higher rated. When I look in my Phil Steele book, Louisiana is one of the higher rated teams in there. I'll tell you, besides the UL Monroe, and this all goes down to what type of team North Carolina A&T has. If it's the A&T from the last couple seasons, then what I'm about to say, don't hold me to this, okay? But Wake Forest projected to be one of the bottom 3 teams in the ACC. So what does that mean for North Carolina A&T? You're playing an in-state opponent, not going to call them a rival. So maybe you'll have a good crowd, a good contingent traveling to Wake Forest for that game. Maybe. But I say, Drew, the more likely game is Jackson State at UL Monroe. I think UL Monroe, the lowest rated team in the Sun Belt. And if Jackson State is worth the high rankings that some people have given them, then this is an opportunity for them to get a win.
I agree.
All right, let's move over to another week. Week number 2. We've got a host of games on different levels. You've got the FCS and FBS games. There you see Texas Southern at Rice, Alcorn at Vanderbilt, FAMU traveling down to Miami. Then you got some HBCU matchups between some NAIA at FCS, Arkansas Baptist traveling to UAPB, Virginia Lynchburg traveling to Livingstone, Edward Waters at Florida Memorial. Now, that's the game, Drew, that I asked you earlier. Should this qualify as should NCAA Division II and NAIA, are they the same? Or should we really categorize them as 2 different things?
Does 36 equal 24, Brian?
No. It's divisible by 3, though.
It's divisible by 3. So that's not helping you out when you're trying to figure out how to do your scholarships. And what I mean by that, D2 gets 36 scholarships, NAIA gets 24, assuming both institutions are fully funded. Which I know Edward Waters is fully funded. I'm not 100% sure about Florida Memorial.
Okay. All right. What else? Any other games in week 2? Is this? I think there's another page for week 2, right?
I'm gonna say this.
Hold on, don't say it yet.
No.
The other games.
It's on this page. What had Lynchburg's quarterback not transferred to Bethune-Cookman? I might have given Lynchburg half a shot against Livingstone.
Okay. These are the other games in week 2. Now, there's a host of these are all HBCU versus HBCUs. Kentucky State at Alabama A&M, Lane at Jackson, Miles at Alabama State, Savannah State at Southern, Tuskegee at Grambling, Virginia State, Norfolk, Virginia Union at Hampton, Winston-Salem at A&T, Drew. On just this page alone, I got I got 3 games that I'm looking at on just this page alone.
Yeah, this is like a game of spades. I got 2 in the possible.
There you go. Yeah, I'm not gonna call them books, but I'll go 3 in a possible, 2 in a possible. Actually, let me see, 1, 2, 3. Well, you know what? If you got 2 possibles, I say 2 possibles.
I got 2 and 2. I got 2 and 2 possibles.
I'm gonna go 3. No, 2 possibles is 1. Get out of here with that.
I know. That's how we used to bid it. I'm gonna get one of these 2 books.
There you go. So I got 3. Should we say what those 3 are or 2 are?
Okay, you give yours, and then if I have something different, I'll throw it in. How about that?
Are we talking best game on the table or what?
All right. I don't know about best game. Most historic game on the table is Tuskegee and Grambling.
And is that's one of your potential upsets?
Yes. Because the week prior, Grambling plays Louisiana. I'm expecting Grambling to be beat up, have a few key players out. whereas Tuskegee is going up against like-minded competition. Johnson C. Smith
week before.
So
and that's on a Sunday. That's a Sunday, Drew. So they're playing with a short week.
They are coming off a short week, but Tuskegee is 30 minutes down the road. It's not. You act like they're traveling for that game. That Montgomery is Tuskegee West. I mean,
okay.
Outside of Cleve Abbott Memorial Stadium, Crampton Bowl in Montgomery is where they have played the second most games, including the entire 2021 season, or was it 2022 season when they had to get the field redone. They played every game at Crampton Bowl except for homecoming.
All right. I know a lot of people are gonna. I have on my games of the year. I think the fact that the Tidewater area, the HBCU Virginia thing should be buzzing. Virginia's. I mean, this is old CIAA rivalry weekend. That's how this should be phrased. Somehow, I don't know what I do have some historical numbers here for one of these series. I couldn't find the other. So I just think it's really awesome that Virginia State at Norfolk State. Now, of course, I have a lot of love for this rival. My dad is an alma mater of both schools. One school he get his undergrad, and the other school he got his master's from. So this game, it means a lot. Now, I don't know if it means a lot to the Norfolk State community, though. I'm gonna reserve my judgment of the Norfolk State Spartan community, Lennon. I'm gonna judge y'all on how y'all show up in Atlanta, and based on that, I better see y'all show up against Virginia State for this game. Lennon.
Brian,
yes,
Brian, and you should know this. This is big state, little state. Norfolk State was born out of Virginia State. To say that there are people who do not care about this rivalry, I think you are sadly mistaken.
Okay. I hope so. So Norfolk State has a stadium that seats about 25 to 30,000. So what are you telling me, Drew? 20,000 minimum?
I would be disappointed if there's not.
Lennon, has Norfolk State had a game in the last 5 years where 20,000 people have come? I don't think they have, Drew. That's what I'm getting at here. Maybe. I don't know. The Hampton Virginia Union series, Drew, I was looking this up. Now, the last 2 years, Hampton won last year 42-28. The year before, no, not the year before, 2 years before, because they were interrupted in the series due to COVID. 2019, Virginia Union won that game 36-17. The all-time record, according to the Virginia Union website where I pulled this information from, they are 41-41-3 in this series. This could not be a more even series history. 41-41-3. Those are unofficial numbers. I don't know if they are. So that's going to be an interesting game for a potential upset. So I think both of those games are in play. And then I don't think you can look past Miles at Alabama State. That upset has already happened. That upset has already happened. So what?
Should Miles beat Alabama State again?
Oof.
Now Miles is, and for lack of a better word, they become Tuskegee to Alabama State, another thorn in their side. Yeah, I do know Tuskegee leads the all-time series against Alabama.
You stop scheduling Miles. If Alabama State loses to Miles again, you
don't. Yes, no, you don't. Yes, no, you don't. No, you don't. Too much money.
Really?
Too much money in that game. That game brings a crowd. Doesn't bring a Tuskegee crowd, but it brings a good crowd. Here's one you're sleeping on, Brian. How about Winston-Salem A&T?
I only laugh because neither one of these teams have performed really well over the last few years.
A&T plays Wake Forest the week before, though. Although it's on a Thursday.
Here, okay. I'm going to say something, and I heard somebody.
The easiest way for an
Hold on.
upset. Hold on, let me say this. The easiest way for one of these D2s to upset is to catch one of these FCSs coming off of a week when they play an FBS.
Why? Tell me why.
They can get physically beat up. The FCS team was tend to get physical. Just like it's tough for these D2s coming off a SCF's game because they get beat up.
I want to poke a hole into that theory, because this whole belief. I mean, look, there might be. If we're talking Alabama, if we're talking Georgia, I can buy into and subscribe to that. But you're telling me that North Carolina A&T, they're in the weight room. Those guys, they're not. This is Division I football. This isn't a Division II North Carolina A&T playing a Division I Wake Forest. So this whole thing that HBCUs are going to get beat up. Now, they may get beat up on the scoreboard, but I reject this broad sweep. And I hear so many people say it that we're starting to buy into this, that in today's age of weights, nutrition, working out year round, all of that stuff, that all of a sudden, just because you got 20 more scholarships, that means that my guys aren't going to be tough enough to play. So Wake Forest isn't going to feel any effects from playing North Carolina A&T.
Here's the difference, Brian. You know what those 20 extra scholarships mean?
No, tell me.
When you lose a number one or a number two, you've got somebody there at that same level to replace them.
But Drew, how many are we losing? See, there's another thing that I'm poking holes in theories right now. How many guys are really being lost in the somebody find me the data. Yeah, because there's data everywhere, right?
If your star receiver has a bad ankle,
how many?
Is he playing in this D2 game?
Probably.
No. I'm saving him for the games that count. Conference games.
That's ridiculous.
You're not going to play him in a game that does not count. Let's go to break and we'll come back for week 3.
Again, like I said, I think I understand it. I just feel like.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you. Somebody who understands what I'm saying.
Keith, explain. Put it in the chat. Explain, and we'll talk about it. When you say it cost, what cost FAMU was before the UNC game, Keith. That's what cost FAMU, not the UNC game. Unless I'm missing something. EA, I'm asking for data. I'm asking the other side of this. Maybe I'm playing devil's advocate here. I don't feel like I am. I'm not. I just keep hearing it. It's a consistent.
It's the depth factor because of the number of scholarships.
No. You're not saying the depth. You just said a guy who played in that game is now going to get hurt. And all I'm saying is,
I'm saying if he gets hurt, if he has a bad hammy. If he has a bad hammy,
if you can get a bad hammy in a conference game,
but guess what? It's a conference game. I'm going to tape it up and go. I'm going to take that ankle and go.
No, you're not.
If I'm not at least 90% going into these games, he's sitting. Let's go to break.
I want a little more data. I just feel like we throw that out there as this statement, as this blanket statement when we play these check games. And I get where it used to come from. But again, I'm saying in 2024, with the nutrition, the weights, and all of the training going on, I just think it's a different. I don't know. Just looking for a little more data behind it. All right. Drew, when you're done posting everybody's replies, we'll go to break.
Go ahead with the lead out.
All right, you're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
Choice Hotels is a family of brands that helps you get the most for your money so you can be any traveler you want to be.
You could be a free hot breakfast hero at a comfort hotel.
Yes!
That's how you waffle.
Mister, this script got a plot twist at a Radisson hotel.
A business big leaguer.
Go for key.
Even the ultimate pool float inflator.
With 22 brands and the best value for your money, Choice Hotels has a stay for any you. Book direct at choicehotels.com, where travels come true. Gotta get the corners.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan Fulford, A.D. Drew here on a beautiful Sunday night, less than 2 weeks away from the start of the college football season. MEAC SWAC Challenge, as well as Delaware State at Hawaii on Saturday the 24th. We're that close. So interesting. So a couple of comments here. Lively debate. Appreciate here. Okay, I see some comments here, and I want to respond quickly here, Drew, before we get back to our matchups. EA, as Drew was flashing notes up on the screen and comments talking about this injury statement that EA says we meaning FAMU, lost an offensive lineman to a torn ACL, a center with a torn pec muscle during the game. EA, that could have happened against Alabama State. It could have happened against Lincoln, California. That could have happened against anybody. That is not a product of playing the North Carolina Tar Heels on that day. So I hear what you're saying. It happened on that game, but that is not the reason why it happened. Okay. Let me see. What other? Okay. Jeremiah Clark is this is now, when Jeremiah Clark and I are starting to agree with things that, everybody, clutch your pearls here, because Jeremiah agrees with me that people can't show the data, and that this whole, I agree 100%, and I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad you did. We think back to the one situation where the young man from Southern going up against the University of Georgia got paralyzed as a result of that game, and somehow that has become this living testimony as to what happens when HBCUs or maybe FCS teams play Division I FBS teams.
Didn't the same thing happen at Vanderbilt that same year? Because I remember them having to take somebody to
that was talking about the Vanderbilt Tennessee State game.
Yeah, is that who that was?
I don't think that was injury on the field. If I recall what happened in that situation, I think the young man had developed some type of, I want to say a seizure, for lack of a better recollection here, but he had something that happened on the sideline. I don't know if it was a hit, but again, okay, if you want to include that, that's 2 in the last 10 years. Look at the total number of games that we've played. There's probably 10 to 15 every year. I just don't see the data to support this notion that we are going to come out worse for wear because we played another team from the higher level and they have 20 more scholarships. I just don't.
All right. Coach Green.
Coming back to player development and coaching. Thank you. When Florida A&M went to South Florida's got a budget 5 times the size of Florida A&M. But hey, one thing we got Florida guys. They got Florida guys. That was a game that was winnable. We lost that game because we put the ball on the turf. And those kids who even played in that game still talk about the fact that cost us an opportunity to win that game. Guess what? That can happen in any game in an 11, 12 game season. You put the ball on the turf, you take away your opportunities to win the game.
Yeah, we're going to see what Grambling does when they go play Ohio State.
I love it. Now, again, you may get beat up on the scoreboard, but I'm not talking about getting beat up, so physically that you can't come back the next week. So, again, this all stemmed from this thought that I would give more credence to the belief that looking a week ahead might cost you a loss more so than who you just finished playing. All right, this is week 3. Still got a few FCS at FBS games. South Carolina State at Georgia Southern. North Carolina Central at North Carolina. That's the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. Bethune-Cookman traveling to Western Michigan. Prairie View traveling to Michigan State. See, I would even say travel. I would give more credence to travel, Drew, than I would this whole belief that the scholarships matter more. It's just me. NCAA Division II at FCS games. You got a couple of HBCU matchups there. Morehouse and Howard, Edward Waters.
That's actually a neutral site game. That's the one in New York.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification there. Florida Memorial traveling to Atlanta to play Clark. And then another Lynchburg game playing Presbyterian. Is that all from week 3?
Yes.
All right. Anything out of week 3 that you would pull to the side and say, yeah, this is the game that I think there's a potential for an upset?
No, but I do got a question, Brian.
Go ahead.
Who's going to win more games this year? Virginia Lynchburg or Morehouse?
Ooh, wow. Last year, Lynchburg won more games, right?
Yes. Ooh. Lynchburg was 2-9. Morehouse was a 110.
Damn, Drew, that's a tough one.
But I really don't see anything on this slide.
I'll go Morehouse. Yeah, I don't either. I don't think the South Carolina State at Georgia Southern, I thought that might be appealing, but then we went and looked up some data there. Georgia Southern is in the – where's Georgia Southern?
Now you being petty, Edwin.
They're in the now that's a good one, Edwin. That's a good one. Damn that. Oh, there it is. Put that back up, Drew. That is our running. We have to create a graphic for that one right there. Who will have more wins in this? Hey, we need to hold on. Somebody make a poll. God, okay. I need a poll to go up in the chat. Let me see how quickly I can do this. Go to the next graphic, Drew. I'm gonna be messy here because y'all got me fired up right now. I'm gonna be real messy here, and I'm gonna do this. Appreciate Edwin for coming up with that. There's a great one. Who will have more wins? Should I say more wins or fewer wins?
More wins.
All right, more wins. More wins. Okay. What else? Okay, so there we go. Week 4.
No, I think Evan really getting in there. You can put a 4th team in there, Brian.
I don't know. Can I add? I don't know if I can add a 4th team.
But he's got 3 candidates.
Yeah, Edwin, you're being messy.
We run that as a second poll, then we let the 2 face off. How about that, Edwin?
We'll take the.
We run it bracket.
Wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. How are we going to do that? How would we do that? How would that work?
You put a second poll up there. Valley, Texas Southern, or Delaware State.
All right, let me get the first poll figured out here first. Go ahead with why
you do that?
I'm gonna figure out how to add this poll here real quick. I know I've seen how to do it. Go ahead.
Moving on to week 4, this is the 21st of September. We've got Florida A&M traveling to Troy. You've got Clark Atlanta traveling to Bethune. That's HBCU on HBCU. You have Point University traveling to Allen. Point University is in West Point, Georgia. Just outside LaGrange, Georgia, north of Columbus, Georgia, on I-85, for those of you all who are trying to figure out if Point is a real school. And, of course, you've got Lynchburg traveling to Morgan State, Brian. So, of these that we have on the screen, Brian, if healthy, Fab, you can go down and get Troy.
Okay.
Now, what's going to be interesting? Were you going to comment on that one? Did you want?
Yeah. Here's where I'm gonna comment on that. Okay. And if you're on our JBN YouTube page, there's the poll. I put the poll up. Okay. I'm curious.
It's only Keith. It's only a 2-hour ride to Troy.
Yeah, I was gonna say to Troy, it's only 2 hours. That's
2 hours. 2:15 tops.
Keith, we do 4 hours from Orlando. We can manage this. Come on now.
And it's all 4-lane, Keith. Interstate to a 4-lane highway.
There's no excuse for the student body not to be there too. This is a game where the FAMU student body needs to rally up and travel to Troy for this one.
It's closer than Alabama State.
Yeah, there's a couple factors here. One, Florida A&M is coming off of a bye week. Okay, they're coming off a bye. Yes, they play Miami 2 weeks prior, but they have a bye week, which means there's a period of there's a period of film review and study and preparation that's going to be a big advantage.
And
secondly,
rest and recovery,
exactly. Secondly, Troy is new coach, and how many starters on offense and defense are there? 22 total. 11-11. They have 4 total starters coming back from a. That's a practically new squad coming back for Troy. Troy is, when I was looking at my Phil Steele magazine earlier in the week, I'll even say this. I know there is an over-under line on wins in this season for Troy. There's a prediction of maybe 4 total wins for Troy this year. So Troy is not a highly regarded team as they were last year or even the year before. So, there is an opportunity for FAMU there, just to kind of say that.
Yeah.
And then the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's one that's going to be interesting, Brian. Clark Atlanta at Bethune. If Teddy Keaton does what a lot of people expect him to do at Allen University West, i.e. Clark Atlanta University, because he took all of the Allen football players to Clark Atlanta with him. And they get off to a hot start, and Bethune gets off to a slow start. Look for this game to possibly be one of those ones where the SIAC betters the SWAC.
All right. What else? Now, after week 4 is slim pickings. It gets really thin Weeks 5 all the way to 14, right?
Yeah, we start thinning out.
Are there any? I'm looking on my list. Were there any? I think there's maybe one at the end of the season. Kind of flip through.
Weeks 5 through 7 are all
Yeah,
Lynchburg
a lot of
games.
Lynchburg games. We're not really worried about
Weeks 8 and 9, none.
Another
Week
Lynchburg
10,
game.
another Lynchburg game. 11 to 13, none. Last one.
Ooh. Yeah, I think you have to consider that because Tuskegee owns the series history, don't they?
Yes. They've got about a 10. They got about a 10 victory margin. Yeah. Alabama State and Tuskegee annually play in the Turkey Day Classic. The Turkey Day Classic has always been hosted at Alabama State. This is the 100th Turkey Day Classic.
Mm.
Tuskegee has won more Turkey Day Classics than Alabama State. And when you consider Tuskegee has not played in every Turkey Day Classic against Alabama State, that should tell you how Tuskegee has dominated this series.
What would it mean for Tuskegee if they were to pull off the double upset, and I'll call it an upset, by beating Grambling and Alabama State in the same year?
Brian, for Tuskegee fans, it wouldn't mean nothing. It's normal business. It's normal business.
Normal business. Oh my God.
Well, Brian, I need you to consider something.
Yeah.
There was a year we beat both Alabama schools and Jackson State in the same season.
Damn.
And we declared ourselves SWAC champions.
Wow.
SWAC East champions. Because we beat three of the teams in the East. When in a 5-team East at that point in time.
Keith said, "Is Grambling over Tuskegee an upset?" That, Jesus, is that where we're at these days? I mean, bag it up and go home, Grambling. If Grambling beating Tuskegee is the upset, yikes.
See that, you know how, Brian, obviously me being a fan, you know we always say we brag different.
Yes.
Tuskegee has a different level of expectation. The winningest HBCU by over 100 victories.
They are.
They expect to beat Grambling. Tuskegee alums expect to beat Alabama State. You will get fired quicker at Tuskegee for losing to Alabama State than you would for losing to Miles.
Preach. That's heavy right there. That's heavy.
It's just expected. We don't care about division. We want the dub, and we've gotten 100 more than anybody else.
Right now, Morehouse is leading in the poll. Who will have the most wins between Virginia Lynchburg, Morehouse, and North Carolina A&T? Man,
who Morehouse gonna beat? Have y'all?
Have you looked at Morehouse?
Please look at these. Please look at the schedules before y'all answer this poll any further, y'all.
Hey, maybe they're just saying that 2 wins is the standard. I don't know, Drew. Maybe that's what they're saying, or I don't know.
Have you been there? Have you been there, EA? One of the best atmospheres you get.
No,
anywhere.
he hasn't been there because he made that comment. So it is somewhere you do want to add it to your bucket list of HBCUs or HBCU stadiums.
Now you got me. I got to do it, Brian. I got to do it to him.
What, Dot?
No, not to Dot.
What?
Dude, you know, people want to talk about the shed.
All right, let's don't get Drew started. Don't get Drew started.
Okay,
so by my count, we've kind of pulled about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 games out of our list. So let's kind of quickly. Give a confidence rating? A 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 confidence rating on the likelihood of an upset happening, Drew. 5 games, the likelihood of an upset happening.
On which ones?
Okay.
The ones that we have.
Yeah. You want me to run through the list?
Yes.
Okay. The games that we have circled. We have Jackson State at UL Monroe in week 1. We've got Virginia State at Norfolk State on week 2. Virginia Union at Hampton week 2. Tuskegee at Grambling week 2. Miles at Alabama State week 2. FAMU at Troy week 4. And Tuskegee at Alabama State week 14. Do you feel like I left anything off?
I think you got them all.
Okay. So that's 7 games, so 1 to 5. So the 2 games, obviously, you're leaving off. But give me your confidence rating on that.
I have to go back and look at my slide again.
I can go first if you want, because I kind of have mine already worked out in my head.
Go ahead, because I got to go back and look at the slide.
Okay. I don't know if I can. Let me see. Okay. Most confident. I don't want to be a homer. Nah, I'm going to put, just because I don't want people to think I'm being a homer. I'm going to go Jackson State at UL Monroe. That's my 5. That's a Thursday game. I want Jackson State expectations, right? Jackson State has a returning quarterback. So my 5, my most confident pick is Jackson State at UL Monroe. My next most confident pick is the FAMU at Troy. Okay. My third most confident game is the Virginia Union at Hampton, because the last 2 meetings have been close, and listening to, I think this might be the Virginia Union team that we saw in 2019 when they did beat Hampton early in the year. Okay, so I got that one as number 3. I am going to include, and I'm only going to include one of these Tuskegee games. And so I just got to figure out which one I'm including. I'm going to say the Tuskegee at Grambling. I'm going to put that as number 2. And then 1, I will say Miles at Alabama State, just because the history of close games. They played 2 close games the last 2 or 3 seasons, and Miles won one of those. So again, my 5 is Jackson State at UL Monroe. My 4 is FAMU at Troy. My 3 is Virginia Union at Hampton. My 2 is Tuskegee at Grambling, and my 1 is Miles at Alabama State. Again, ranking them from most likely on down. Go ahead.
All
Drew.
right. Most likely. I got to find the right week. I am going to go. No, are we going bottom up or top down?
I gave you my most likely to happen on down. Most likely. That's for 5.
Most likely. Big state, little state. Virginia State, Norfolk State.
Oh, okay, it's interesting. Okay. I'll tell you why. After we're done, I'll tell you why I didn't include that one. Go ahead.
Okay. That's my number 1. Number 2, I'm going to stay in the Rhodes area with Union and Hampton.
Okay.
Number 3, I'm going to put FAMU Troy. Number 4 is going to be Tuskegee at Grambling. I'm gonna pull a mild one, and we did not talk about this one. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Alcorn State Vanderbilt.
Okay. Which week is that game?
That's the week 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't include Virginia State and Norfolk State, so last year Virginia State won that game 33-24. Over the last 10 games that these teams have played, Virginia State has only won 2 of those games. And it's funny, there have been 3-year cycles. Like this is the third, is this the third year? Yeah, this is the third year. No, excuse me. This is the first of, well, who knows I don't know if it's a home and home or if this is a 2-year, 3-year contract. But prior to this year, Norfolk State and Virginia State played 3 consecutive years. And prior to that, Drew, there was a period of I had a blip there. I'm back. Prior to those 3 years, there was a gap between in the series. So anyway, where I'm trying to go is coming off of some time apart from playing each other, you kind of forget about this sneaky little team from Petersburg, and they catch Norfolk State slipping. But then the following couple years, Norfolk State's like, nah. We're not gonna sleep on these dudes, and they handle business. So I'm expecting Norfolk State to handle business against Virginia State. Plus, I'm gonna buy into Coach Frazier, his skepticism about his team. I'm gonna buy into it. Unlike he said so in his media day. I'm gonna take his word. And maybe he's being what's the word? Maybe he's just selling some sheepskin, but I don't know. Yeah, okay. It's not a home and home. Okay, so yeah, thank you. It's not a home and home. So yeah, no. Yeah, I was just referring to the fact that they played a few years and then there was a break, because I think they played in 17, 18, 19. Then you had COVID, and then they didn't play in 21 or 22. And then all of a sudden they picked up again and played in 23. And of course, that's Virginia State caught them. So yeah, but Alcorn Vanderbilt, huh? That's interesting.
That's interesting. I didn't want to go with the same. We go with Jackson State, UL Monroe.
But if you don't see, you do that sometimes out of just. But if you don't believe it, don't put it up there.
I believe there's a half a chance.
So okay, all right.
You see, here's the thing. Everybody's sleeping on. You've got a quarterback at Alcorn who's played Vanderbilt before.
He has?
When Tyler Macon was at the University of Missouri.
Did he play in that game? Or was he just out there at the game? So 2 different things. I mean, hell, you and I could have been at the game.
Let's go to break, Brian.
All right. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap. We'll be back in just a moment right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Hey, grab me one too.
This is Brian Fulford. A.D. Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN SportsWrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN SportsWrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Choice Hotels is a
Live from Atlanta, Georgia, the HBCU football capital hosts the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge on August 24th. Defending HBCU national champion Florida A&M Rattlers versus the Norfolk State Spartans. For more information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Ran out of soap. Hey, son, what you think you're doing? What you talking about? Ain't no soap in this thing, love. Boy, as long as we got daggum H2O, we got soap. We better go in there and add some water to that daggum bottle. Hey, hit the top of my trash can like that again. I'm gonna make sure you inside of it, hitting the top of it, trying to get out, boy. What's wrong with you? Sap sucker? Add some water to that daggum soap and finish the rest of them dishes. Yeah, I can use this one. I just need something to put it in. I just use it, the butter bowl. Yeah, just put the food in here, man. Yeah. Got an old to-go container from the Chinese place I ate at last night. All these boxes over here. What you talking about? You go right here.
Dad, I'll be right back. I need to head to Walmart.
What you going to Walmart for?
I need to get a gift bag for my friend's birthday.
Gift bag? What you mean? Please. Hey, here, man. Here, use that.
You bring me my hair stuff? It's in that sherbet bowl.
Where is it at, man?
It's in the bathroom.
Thanks. Drew, the plastic bags. Where, why, and why is that us? Why is that us? How and why did that become us?
Brian, I guarantee you go in somebody's kitchen, either under the sink, in the laundry room, or under or in the cabinets on the other side of the kitchen. There's a whole drawer or door dedicated to the Walmart bags.
Like stuffed, overstuffed. Like when you open the drawer, they just come bursting out like some kind of like confetti thing. And then and then instead of throwing them away, what do we do, Drew? Stuff them right back in there.
You put like 20 of them in one bag and then stick their bag in there. Now, this is a good one.
If you have a dog, you don't throw away. Oh my gosh, man! The stuff we do,
and Brian, that soap thing is so true.
The soap. Oh, that was the other thing I was gonna get to. The soap. That's real. I do that all the time, and it's like just throw this away. But nope. What do? You unscrew it. You put a little bit in there, shake it up, and man, that soap will last for about another week.
Yeah, and I don't know about the spaghetti jars, but I can tell you a thing about the old mayonnaise jars.
It's the same kind of jar, the mason jar.
I know. Yeah,
same kind of jar.
The mason jars, and yes, I got some Waffle House containers in my kitchen.
I stopped keeping those. I stopped that. That's one habit I broke. The to-go containers from the Chinese restaurant and the Waffle House containers.
Right. They already compartmentalized. So you can keep your mashed potatoes away from your green beans, away from your meat. They already got the little dividers in there, bro. Why not keep them? You done paid for it.
Unbelievable. We got to stop, people. We have to stop. I'm just trying to figure. Like, I know some places.
We're just hoarders.
We're hoarders. Some supermarkets you can take those plastic bags and you can recycle them. So we're all guilty.
And there's the other thing. I use those to put in my my trash can in the bathroom.
Yes, that's exactly what. Yes, that's the number one use. That's the number. Either that or where's the number two? Number two answer is what?
What's that? I don't know. Which number two?
Lunch bag.
Oh, will you take it for lunch?
Good answer. Survey says it's gotta be. It's gotta be the number two choice.
Oh my God. Yeah. And everybody in here is just too funny.
Leftover spaghetti. Man, look, stop it.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna give you one more. When you travel and you have to put shoes in your luggage because you're flying and you don't want to get your clothes dirty, put them in a Walmart bag.
No, okay.
And then you stuff them in the suitcase.
If you take,
when you got to take extra shoes because you're traveling and you got to take 2-3 pair of shoes.
But that's if you take, so you're smart enough to take the Walmart bag. I simply would just use the hotel laundry bag, and that's the bag in the hotel room that
you got to get to the hotel room first.
Huh?
I'm talking about when you leave in the house to go to the hotel room.
Your shoes should be clean, are they not?
Brian, I'm packing to go away for 3-4 days.
All right.
I gotta take a pair of sneakers. I gotta take a pair of hard bottoms because I'm gonna wear my flip flops when I get on the plane.
All right.
See,
I'd never done that, but I'm not no shade on you for doing it.
Hey, we can make up all kind of uses for it. All right, where we going next, Brian? We going to school, or we got other news first?
Do we have other news? I mean, I feel like we're getting a quick update on the poll. Who will win the most games in 2024 between Virginia, Lynchburg, Morehouse, and North Carolina A&T? So we want a good representation on all three levels. 52% of the votes right now are saying Morehouse, Drew. Crazy. Hold on, let me just go look at Morehouse's schedule here. For those of you picking Morehouse, y'all tell me how they get wins this year. Edward Waters, Johnson C. Smith, Howard, Kentucky State, Benedict, Tuskegee. That's the first 6 games of the year for Morehouse. First 6. Then they have a bye week. Then they travel to Albany State, host Fort Valley State, travel to Miles, and play Clark. Drew, this is a schedule from hell.
Once again, I got Virginia Lynchburg winning more games than Morehouse.
I do too. I have no idea how Morehouse, unless you're saying Morehouse is going to get one win and that Virginia Lynchburg and A&T are going winless. Okay, but I don't know how Morehouse if Morehouse gets 2 wins off of this schedule,
get that man a raise.
Hey, what's his name again? Who's the coach of Morehouse?
Terrence Mathis.
Hey, Terrence Mathis, just add an extra 2 years to his contract. If he can get 3 wins out of that schedule, you did the power rankings, didn't you, Drew? In terms of schedule ranking, were they the number one at that level?
I think they were one of the.
Let me see.
I have to go back and look at it.
I got the SWAC. Hold on. I got it here. SIAC strength of schedule. Let me see if it's totally ranked. Strength of schedule. Hold on. Let me see. Morehouse is here. Let me look at it. Yeah. Hell yeah. It's number 1. It's the hardest. Yeah, I knew it was the hardest. I didn't even have to look, but I just wanted to confirm. It is the hardest schedule. I just told you those 10 games. Man, that is a hard schedule. And Yeah, man, good Lord. Whew. I don't know where y'all think the wins are coming from, but power to y'all. All right. What else do we got, Drew? Because it's getting close to. I gotta finish some lesson plans. I gotta go finish grocery shopping. Gotta go pick up my groceries. I gotta somehow find a way to get some sleep because.
Do you take lunch or do you eat lunch with the kids? Get lunch out the calf.
Okay, so this year, because I teach more classes, I have lunch duty this year. So on the days when I have lunch duty, I don't get to eat my lunch at the time with the kids. Now, but the real answer to your question is heck no. I am not eating around them suckers because why? I have to teach them this year. And no. Let me just keep it at that. No. I may find a quiet place where I can sit
Teacher's
outside.
lounge.
No, not even in teacher's lounge because I don't even want to be interrupted in there. I'm gonna sit in an area that usually is uninterrupted and there's some natural air, maybe a little sunshade, whatever.
Brian, when I was teaching, I just closed my door. I ate in my classroom.
But why do that to yourself? I have to be in there
because it's fine.
5 hours out of my day. I gotta be somewhere else.
Because it's mine.
Yeah, okay, it's yours, but I want to be somewhere else. It's bad enough I got to be there, and then I think I have an overactive air conditioning unit, which I shouldn't complain about because when it goes down, I mean I'm gonna be complaining on the opposite side. But I need to get out and get some fresh air.
I got you. Speaking of going to school, Brian.
Yeah.
Let's go to a little bit of HBCU school. And what I got in mind, there's been a lot of talk going on around internet, Twitterverse, YouTube land about, and it's kind of good talk. We have come such a long way when it comes to HBCU media, Brian. We have access to more content revolving around our HBCUs than we have ever had before. Wouldn't you agree, Brian?
Yes.
And there are new people coming into this space each and every day. Some have HBCU ties, some don't have HBCU ties. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think a lot of people forget where we came from, Brian. So I think I want to start off today and kind of go back and show where we came from, Brian.
Okay.
We're going to give you a little bit of timeline from back in the day, Brian. And this is not all inclusive. This is just the highlights. Pittsburgh Courier is where we got our news from, Brian. From 1907 to 1966 when they ceased to operate. Those HBCU national champions that you used to see back when Wiley won a national championship, Tuskegee won their national championships, Florida A&M won their national championships. All those schools that we have forgotten about won their national championships. Guess who crowned them? Would be the Pittsburgh Courier.
And many of those.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to add, many of those teams did not play each other like at the end of the year, so it was and just the same way in which at the non-black college level, newspapers for hundreds of years in college football have been recognizing national champions.
Yeah, it was a mythical national champion. Notice, Brian, the Pittsburgh Courier and their publication predates any of our conferences.
When was the SIAC?
CIAA is the oldest conference in 1912.
Okay.
SIAC is 1913.
Okay, good history lesson. Okay.
A SWAC 1920.
Mm-hmm.
MEAC 1970.
Okay.
Who could forget this one? After you got past page 42.
If you know, you know.
that was actually a sports section in the Jet.
Not with the page number. That's awesome.
But yeah, Jet Magazine was another publication that we used to use pre-internet before we got out. So just wanted to pay homage to Johnson Publishing.
Did you and your family have a Jet subscription, or did you read Jet in the barbershop?
All of the above.
So both.
Yeah, I think, I think my mother used to get. We used to get a Jet subscription. We used to buy the TV Guide at the grocery store. You remember the TV Guide magazine?
I do.
The little TV Guide. And you would read Ebony when you went out somewhere. That's kind of how I remember it. But Jet printed its last hard copy in 2014, everybody. What you looking at, Brian?
Huh?
I thought you were looking at
something. No. Go ahead. I'm just typing a poll question. Because
okay.
You got me buzzing here.
Then 1972, after the Pittsburgh Courier left, the Sheridan Broadcasting Network started putting out the polls. And they were the major publication or media group who was responsible for polls. Sheridan Broadcasting Group is still around today. Still doing their polls. They syndicate a lot of things to various radio stations out there. Started in 1972. How about this guy, Brian? And we're gonna stop the thing right here.
This is our era. This is my era right here.
This is when everything changed. Mr. Eric Moore.
Mm-hmm.
He is probably the one person who's responsible for those of us who are in Black media today shifting from hard copy everything to doing everything online. Y'all remember where y'all used to go look for the HBCU sports schedule? OnTheDan.com. That was created by this man right here, Mr. Eric Moore. Him, along with Luke Williams, with the Black College Sports page, which is where you would go to read the Black College Sports page at OnTheDan.com, were probably the two biggest shifts from us from traditional media to what we go now as internet media, social media.
Yeah. And I think what was important to know, Mr. Moore was, I believe he was an SID, correct?
Yes, he was an SID.
So he understood, he understood the medium. He understood the nature of getting information out to people.
Yes.
You know?
He understood how to get it out and what needed to get out.
Right. And let me add that it's interesting going back to the Sheridan, and you may have said this, and I apologize if you said this already. The Sheridan Broadcasting Group, the fact that that's your radio entity, as we listen to Black radio networks, Sheridan was the group supplying the information to radio networks around the country. So it's real interesting that I said nowadays we have so much access to information, right? But if you think about it, whether it was print or radio, and there were a couple of forms of print, obviously, and then even in the early introductions of this thing called the internet and the World Wide Web, you see the entities that got information to us. So as your school and your alma maters were playing games and trying to get information, which obviously, hey, the newspapers, I'm just going, the newspapers in the big cities or even the regional cities where you had a largely white subscriber base, they weren't printing too many stories about the little black school down the road that plays football. They weren't. They didn't care about us. So we took care of our own.
Yeah.
So
Yes, Edwin, I do remember that. The black radio stations ran news shorts at the top of the hour from the Sheridan.
That's what I was talking about. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's what I'm saying. The Sheridan, that was the Sheridan supplying. And again, so if you didn't get it in Jet, you probably got it by listening to the local black radio station, or maybe your black newspaper, which is also where sort of the Black College Sports page started coming in and helping out there, because they would get their page into the local black newspapers across the country in the 90s.
Yeah, where I grew up at, we had two. It was one was the Argus, Argus, and the other one was the St. Louis American. As I was growing up, those were the two black publications. And Brian, I want to apologize to everybody. I left one slide off of that presentation. Pre Eric Moore, there was supposed to be a slide about BET. 1983 is when BET came on the scene, and soon after started broadcasting HBCU sports, specifically football games, on BET, starting in the late 80s all the way through the 90s up until about maybe 2002. So I'll definitely want to add that in there, and to the pre-internet age of some of the key highlights of black media. So BET was a big part of where we are today.
And I would bet that a lot of the information that BET got came from, guess where? One of those entities, whether it be Sheridan, Jet, I can't say
Jet.
I can't say Courier.
No, Courier wouldn't have been around.
Right. But I bet that's sort of where they got a lot of their information from.
Yes. So next week, I just wanted to give you guys a couple of highlights. Next week, we will come back. We will actually get deeper into the internet age and how we grew in the internet age. So make sure you tune into us here at Black College Sports Network. And I don't know if Steve is still in the chats. Didn't have a chance to reach out to Steve because I know he's got some information. But yes, Steve, you are on this list somewhere. HBCU game day. I just want to let you know, HBCU game day
part two
is on this list.
Sure, part two. When we move into the new millennium, as we start to move into the new millennium.
Ken Rashad, SWAC page, MEAC fans page. You are on this list.
Mm-hmm. Part two.
You are on this list. Dr. Cavill, you on this list.
Donald Ware, Box to Row. Mm-hmm.
BCSN is on this list. So we teased it out where they are. I just said he's on this list. Donald Ware is on this list. We'll tell you how. Because all these people that you are mentioning have played a major part into help shaping what we have today. If it were not for all of this, there would be none of these big contracts where we would be having every HBCU game broadcast or stream somewhere in 2024. Think about it.
So when you guys who are watching, when you hear people You know, there's a certain level of respect that we have. We're the ones kind of in this space, and we collaborate and work with a lot of these people. But when you hear other people talk down on Black media, especially in a small bubble that we're in, where we're just trying to get as many eyes on these professional or on these young men and women who are representing our HBCUs. And it is a tireless, sometimes thankless job, but we do it for the love and the passion. Okay. So when you hear people talk negatively, it's okay to have your criticism. Criticism is fair. But when it gets personal, and when you hear the negative personal attacks on media members, say something. You guys consume the content, not saying you have to agree, but you consume the content. It keeps you informed. You're working your daily jobs, managing your families, your businesses, and other interests. And you lean on shows and websites and other entities to provide you with the information that
Factual information.
Well, information, yeah. I mean, factual, okay. I don't know what other kind of information if it's not factual, but anyway, yeah. I mean, you rely on that, and so I just, you know, just put some respect on their names. That's all I ask. That's all we ask. Put some respect on their name. All right. I put a poll in the chat room.
Can I close it out, Brian?
Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me kind of give a quick poll update. I just quick poll. Did your family have a subscription to Jet Magazine, or did you read it in the barbershop? Reading it in the barbershop is taking a little bit of a lead over having a subscription, and only about 15% of y'all said both.
You should have asked, did they take it from the barbershop to go home and read?
That's dirty. That's dirty. Now that's dirty.
You act like people didn't do that.
I'm sure they did, but that's dirty pool, man. You take the, you know, taking, you don't know where that thing had been, man. You take that thing home, and that's selfish, man.
Yeah. Anyway, Brian, I just want to add to what you were saying. In order for us to know where we are and where we need to go, we must understand where we have come from. I understand when I decided to go from coaching to athletic administration and over to this media side, I understood what the call was. So my call is to educate, inform, and fact check. I'm done.
I want to give a shout out to Keenan Isaac of Alabama State. He's playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had an interception in Saturday's preseason game. So add him to the list of another HBCU football player who had a good week one. There's somebody maybe that we missed. You guys make sure to tune in to your favorite sites, whether it be HBCU Game Day or HBCU Sports. I know those guys and their staff are keeping track of that. So I'm sure they'll kind of have a running tally via
who is that, Brian?
Argue.
Who is that?
What?
Who's keeping track of it?
Well, usually it'll either be the guys from HBCU Game Day or HBCU Sports. HBCU Game Day.
Okay. Okay. I just want to give them their homage.
All right. Marquise Bell was defensive player of the game. That's the Cowboys game against the Rams. Good stuff, man. He was a starter, so I hope he didn't play too much. He's a starter. He shouldn't have been out there on the field too long. Okay, so funny, the poll comes out. It's 40, and 15, Drew. 40% had a subscription, 40% read it in the barbershop, and 15 or 20%, had it both. So that's pretty good. Appreciate you guys participating in the polls. Hopefully our A&T friends don't take it too personally. I would have selected y'all over Morehouse. I'm just gonna say that. So there's no way I see Morehouse having more wins than A&T this year. But
speaking of A&T, can I?
What now?
Speaking of A&T, can I get an A&T on the way out?
Aggie Pride?
No. I got some for A&T on the way out the door.
Oh, okay. What you got?
Let's see.
Can you give it away in one day? Mama. Show me the strength. Son. Self, can you give it away in one day?
Sold out on the first day, huh?
Sold out on the first day.
Congratulations, A&T. Way to support. Way to show up and support. Jeff Roberts.
Gotta get your tickets early.
You get your tickets, Jeff? You get your tickets?
Let's pick up this show and get out of here, man.
All right. I want to remind you, make sure you're following the Black College Sports Network at MyBCSN1 on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Of course, you can always watch any of our shows on our Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page or the our BCSN SportsWrap YouTube and Facebook pages as well. Just look it up under BCSN SportsWrap. Want to encourage you, if you are a podcast listener, like, all of these shows on the Black College Sports Network are airing on the BCSN Pod Zone, PODZONE. You can find it on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple and Google Podcasts, everywhere that you listen to podcasts. The Carlos Brown show from yesterday is up, and our show from today will go up sometime maybe tonight, tomorrow morning. Depends on how much work I get done. So, subscribe to the channel, like, subscribe, play it, rate, review, download. You don't have to listen. Just, we need the algorithm numbers. That's what we're after. So however and wherever you can support the content that we churn out is greatly appreciated. And you can always drop a donation to the show via Cash App. That's $MyJBN, MyBCSN, or if you're on the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page, you can drop a super chat as well. Thank you for tonight's show, everybody. We appreciate everybody watching, listening, supporting, and let's have a great week. We're the final 2 to 3 weeks. For some teams, it's 2. Other teams, it's 3. And the football season is back, full steam ahead. So we say au revoir to the Olympics, and we say bonjour to college football. For A.D. Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Thanks for watching tonight.
I say travel light, and I'm going to holler. I don't know how to say that.